Chicago's very own WGN News.
The chairman of the Federal Reserve warns President Trump's tariffs will raise prices for consumers. This comes as Trump delayed 25% tariffs on certain items from Canada and Mexico until next month. He's also threatening a tariff on Canadian lumber and dairy. Joining us now to talk about what all this uncertainty could do to the economy is Professor Phillip Braun. He's a clinical professor of finance at Northwestern University. Thanks so much for joining us. I think first would just love to get your take on this whiplash, just the back and forth of imposing these tariffs, then pausing, imposing, pausing. I think people are just wondering what's going on here.
I think President Trump is responding to the fall in the stock market earlier this week, as well as changes in the bond market. And so I think he might have been surprised that the stock market fell so much on the announcement of, or the implementation of the tariffs, as well as bond interest rates rising at the same time. So I think he's maybe rethinking about how far he wants to go with these tariffs.
Now, do you feel that he's using these tariffs as a negotiating tactic to stop fentanyl crossing the Canadian and Mexico borders into the United States? Or do you think he really does want to change the world economy and put the U.S. in a better position when it comes to trade?
No, I think his goal is not fentanyl at all, but change the terms of trade between the U.S. and countries around the world. His opinion is that countries like Canada export almost $1 trillion worth of goods to the U.S. every year, and the U.S. only exports around $350 billion back into Canada. And he views trade deficits as being harmful to the U.S. economy, and as Canada taking advantage of the U.S. But that's not actually the case, right? He doesn't truthfully understand how the trade deficit works. And the trade always balances. It's not always in goods, but it can be in financial assets instead. But his view is to try to strengthen the U.S. economy relative to others around the world.
We know that he met or had conversations with the heads of Ford, GM, and Stellantis earlier this week. How much do you think those conversations played into his decision to pull some of these tariffs back, particularly from Mexico?
I think a lot. The world economy is very integrated today, and the auto sector is the best example of that, where cars are manufactured in Canada or Mexico using parts that are built all around the world and then exported into the U.S. So it's a very, very integrated supply chain. And if you disrupt that, it's going to take a while to reestablish a new supply chain, and prices of autos for U.S. consumers will definitely go up quite a bit.
One new thing we heard today was this 250% tariff on dairy from Canada. What could that mean for dairy prices in the U.S.? I know we do produce a lot of our own dairy here as well, but that seems very high.
It's very, very high. And he's just trying to shut down the trade completely. He may be using that as a starting point, but it means dairy prices for U.S. consumers would go up quite a bit.
What do you foresee happening over the coming weeks? I know that now there is this 1 month pause again. I'm sure no one knows what will happen here, but do you feel right now that a trade war has been ignited?
I think it's been ignited. Canada says they're not going to back off on the retribution tariffs they've always put in place. President Trump seems very committed to implementing tariffs around the world. I don't see him backing off on that to a great extent, although I do see him maybe adjusting things here and there. But it was never a good idea in the first place, and it continues not to be a good idea, but unfortunately the president doesn't realize that.
All right. Well, thanks so much for your insight. We'll, of course, be keeping a close eye on this tariff issue and hope to chat with you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.